From Cumberland Regional High School, we bring you some way down South Jersey basketball. As on this Thursday night, it's the Williamstown Braves and the Cumberland Colts on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. That's a shot of the mural there from outside, just outside of Bridgeton. As I'm Dan Wilkins, I'm joined by Nolan Dowell on the call tonight. This is a Cumberland team that is having a renaissance. They're 5-4 in their first 9 games. They only won 6 last year. They went 6-21, but they're having a renaissance because of one man and several others, but Pat Crawford is their leader with over 300 points in his freshman year and over 500 career points in his first 2 with Cumberland.
Yeah, Dan, he has been a shining star here for the Cumberland Colts. Leads the team in scoring, leads the team in rebounding, and this is a team that hasn't had a season over 500 since 2017 to 2017, 17, 18. Oh my gosh, so many numbers. That season, it's been a while since the Cumberland Colts have had a successful year of basketball, and it looks like Pat Crawford has turned that around.
Yeah, in Williamstown, they were expected to have an up year as well, but they've started out 2-6 under Adam DeAndrea. They went 8-18 last year. It's been interesting to watch them go. They have 3 transfers that are coming in, including one from Paul Six, but they're not eligible until Saturday. We went into this thinking that they were going to have all those new players on the floor potentially for the first time, but no, we have to wait another day. But still, they have some good men on their team. You know, player that I'm going to watch is Kason Matthews. He's a great scorer. The numbers might not shine to you at first, but he's just a great level-headed shooter, somebody who's going to hit you from inside, somebody who's going to hit you from outside, and is really able to do almost everything.
Yeah, and Dan, I'm going to be looking for number 4, Tyson Foreman. It's going to be a battle of the guards today. We have Foreman, who leads the team in basically every statistical category you can lead in. And then on the other side, as we said, Pat Crawford. So it's going to be a battle.
Not to mention as well Caleb Green. He's a 6'4" forward who has put in a lot of work since we saw Cumberland last on December the 13th. It's been a while, actually. We saw them on the first game of the year versus West Deptford, and it's almost been a month since then. But for Cumberland, Pat Crawford didn't start in that game, and Caleb Green didn't start in that game. But they were the game's 2 leading scorers. They won by, I believe, 19 over West Deptford. But as it goes, Cumberland's hung in there. They only won 6 games last year, so a 5-4 start and hanging in 4th out of 6 in the Tri-County Liberty is an impressive remark nonetheless.
Yeah, it is. And today, I mean, we've talked about the matchup we're going to have with the guards. Well, just in general, these 2 teams, they like to go back and forth with each other. Cumberland has been on the short end of the stick, though. They haven't beaten Williamstown since 2017, so hopefully they'll break the streak today. That's what they're looking for.
Well, we'll see if Cumberland can ring in 2026 with an upset win over the Williamstown Braves, and we'll be right back in just a moment with the national anthem, starting lineups, and much more here from Cumberland Regional High School in Seabrook, New Jersey. Our starters for the Williamstown Braves this evening: Connor Torcasio, Tyson Foreman, Kason Matthews, Braden Covington, and Demetri Walker. And let's listen in to the public address announcer, Gene Thomas, for Cumberland's starting lineup.
Starting at forward, a 6'2" sophomore from Bridgeton, New Jersey, 00, Pat Crawford. Starting at forward, a 6' junior from Fairfield, New Jersey, number 10, Major Martins. Starting at guard, a 5'10" senior from Fairfield, number 2, Jay Davis. Starting at guard, a 5'10" senior from Fairfield, New Jersey, number 1, DJ Mosley. And at forward, 6'5" senior from Bridgeton, New Jersey, number 12, Caleb Green. Let's get ready for the tip-off.
And so will we. We will get ready for the tip-off here at Cumberland Regional High School. I'm Dan Wilkins, joined by Nolan Dowell of Rowan University. On the call, Damian Waiters on the production this evening as we get ready to close out a competitive week, or I should say we still have Friday, we still got Saturday, so still 2 more games on the horizon. Pittman, Clearview tomorrow, and then Warren Hills, Kingsway on Saturday. So make that 3 straight days with the Tri-County Conference as we'll get ready to go. Williamstown 2-6. They'll be on the right side of your screen with their road white jerseys with the blue accents. And then Cumberland on the left side of your screen with their home orange jerseys, grit named on the back, and white and black numbers. About 45 minutes from home. Let's see how we get this one going. Cumberland, Williamstown, ready to tip off. Tri-County Conference action. Uh-oh. Didn't get it off cleanly, but how about Pat Crawford swatting that one away to give Cumberland the first possession. We're underway here in Seabrook. But how about that for a great start? Pat Crawford getting it over. Caleb Green, corner 3. What a way to start it off. Caleb Green, the 6'4" forward, already with over 100 points this year. He picks up a 3-pointer, and the Colts are off and running. As Nolan mentioned in the open, Cumberland has not beat Williamstown since 2017, nearly 8 years ago, the last year that Cumberland was over 500. They went 6-21 last year, as there's a 3 that misses off the mark by Braden Covington. So just 45 seconds into this one and already seeing a handful of shots from beyond the arc. Martin Dunn in the far corner now. Over to Martin Dunn. 3-ball, no good. Crawford went for the offensive board. He didn't get it. And it's out of bounds.
Yeah, Dan, Martin Dunn is the guy you kind of want to hit in the corner for 3. He's one of their best 3-point shooters.
Cumberland retains the possession, now moving inside to Crawford. Bounce pass, Martin Dunn blocked. Blocked with authority by Tyson Foreman. And this will now be inbounded by number 2, Jay Davis. Davis over inside for Crawford. 531 points for Pat Crawford entering this game. He's 10 games into his sophomore year. You can now make that 533. But assuming that the Bridgeton forward stays with Cumberland, very good chances. There's a nice basket by Foreman. But point is that he's already halfway to 1,000 points. There's only been 6,000-point scores in Cumberland boys basketball history, the last being Ethan Turner, who was just under 1,200 in 22-23, and then before him was Casey Droel, as there's a foul and one. Got underneath the basket there. A tough shot for Kaysen Matthews. We were talking about those tough shots that Kaysen Matthews was going to be able to finish on, and he's able to get it right there. Foul and one. Gets it to the line and tries to tie this game up with a three-point play. Matthews this season, the senior, one of an astonishing 10 seniors for Williamstown this year. 118 career points, 40 this year, 22 rebounds, and an impressive 8 steals in 8 games so far. 5-5 as Matthews ties it up.
You said Williamstown has 10 seniors. Well, they already lost 5 last year, so that's 15 guys over the span of 2 years that they're cycling out.
Caleb Green, no good that time. Crawford bats it down, gets it back to Davis, rather, and that is able to get finished off. So Cumberland now takes a 7-5 lead. And only 2 minutes into this affair here in Cumberland County. A nice finger roll, can't get it to go. Green batted it up. Now it goes out. He tried to swipe it away, but instead, top of the key, that three doesn't go. And now Martin Dunn will bring this one out. It's over to Jay Davis. Davis bringing this one up to Martin Dunn. He's got Caleb Green in the near corner. He's already taken 2 3-point field goal shots, as that is a foul. Crawford got hit on his way up, and he'll go to the line.
Williamstown lined up in that 2-3 zone defense, going to try to shut down Pat Crawford in the paint. I mean, as we saw right there, Crawford just powered his way down low, was able to draw the foul.
Crawford, a career 62.4% foul shooter, 73 for 117 in his career, but a nice 65.5% this season, 40 for 61. Still trying to get those numbers up, as the first one is good for Crawford. Pat Crawford has put up 3 30-point performances this year. He only had 1 during his freshman year. He put up 31 and 13 versus West Deptford, but he's already put up 30 versus Clearview and versus Deptford. So my apologies. He's had 2 30-point games this year, but any player having a 30-point game as a sophomore for a team that only won 6 games last year really is a sign that Cumberland is finding their way, and they're finding their way back into the win column. They won some games in this December month and early in January that they did not have the favor on in order to win this game, as that one is up, no good, too strong, and Green gets the rebound. But they beat Absegami, a team that they struggled with last year. They beat Highland 63-61. Highland's a very well-coached team with the Haddon Heights legend Mike Ritchie. As this one's over into the corner, coast-to-coast pass. Green for 3! Caleb Green, nothing but green there as he hits the far corner once, hits the near corner once, and he bangs another one. Caleb Green, the 6'4" forward, has 6 points, and the Colts lead this one by 7. Now pulling this one up. Shot can't go for Foreman. And now slowing it down is Mosley, but Martin Dunn with a long 2. That's good. And immediately Adam DeAndrea calls for a timeout. So Williamstown in a bit of a pickle here to start. They trail by 9 as this was a tie game, but it's a 9-0 run for the Colts. We'll take a quick break. We've got just a handful of minutes left in the first quarter with Cumberland up 14-5. Well, you know, Williamstown, their bench is liking it. I've never heard baseball organ music at a basketball game, but maybe that's because Gene Thomas, the public address announcer, is an assistant coach for baseball. I'm not sure, but that's quite an interesting timeout music there. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. Well, I'll tell you who's happy right now. Cumberland. They're on a 9-0 run here coming out of the timeout. 14 points in the first 4 minutes of the ball game. Caleb Green has 6. Pat Crawford with 4 points so far as this one is lost. He puts his knee on top of the ball. Williamstown gets it out, though, somehow able to recover as it's Matthews now bringing this one in. Fires it outside. Now on the floor is Connor Torcasio, or he's a starter. He's been on the floor, so it's the first time we're mentioning him. That pass gets batted up. Goes back to Cumberland. Out on the right side, fires it over to Green. Green, his fourth. Good! Caleb Green!
Wow.
The public address announcer couldn't have said it better. Caleb Green's on fire. He's 3 for 4 from beyond the arc, and he's got 9 points for Cumberland. 17-5 and a 12-0 run.
None of his threes that have been made have touched the rim.
I mean, it's automatic. It's been crazy good so far. So here's Torcasio. Back to the point, Matthews. Matthews pulls up, tries to break the drought, and Walker finally does. So Demetrius Walker finally breaks the run for Cumberland, gets them a basket as this one falls short. Walker tips it, and the rebound goes to Matthews. 10-point lead for Cumberland, 17-7. It hits Green in the face. Now an open look. Gary Manzi coming off the bench. Can't get that one to fall. Green had a little bit of contact with Manzi, but now going up the floor is Mosley. C.J. Mosley here running the point for Cumberland. Takes it all himself, and he gets it to go. How about Mosley? That's his,
That's
Josh Davis. Yeah, you'd be right. Don't know what I had there, but that's the Cumberland quarterback from the football season, replacing the graduating Mark Suppi. As now on the right side, it's Manzi. Bounce pass.
Cumberland's defense is just locking up Williamstown right now.
Yeah, they are giving them more than they can handle, as now it will be the Colts standing on it over the middle. Basket falls short. DJ Mosley, there we go. So Mosley's number 1. My apologies there. Back over to the top of the key. Torcasio stops. He looks at Matthews to his right, now pulls up. Can't get that shot to go. Now quickly moving here, but not before the former Absegami football coach, Lamont Robinson, calls a timeout. 1:33 to play in the first. We'll be right back. 19-7 Cumberland. All right, go ahead. Welcome back to Cumberland Regional High School. This broadcast is brought to you by Harper Driving School. Over 90% of students who take their New Jersey State driving test with Harper pass on the first attempt. Book an appointment today at Suite 4 of the Total Turf Complex in Pittman at 614 Lambs Road, just minutes from Route 55. What a run for Cumberland. This was a 5-5 game just a few minutes ago, and that's now 19-7.
And you can thank Caleb Green for that.
Absolutely.
I mean, he hit back-to-back threes to kind of spark this Cumberland run that they're on right now. And plus the defense they've been playing has been fantastic to open up this first quarter.
On the floor for Cumberland, it's Josh Davis, Khalif Dawkins, and Kamal Branch, Pat Crawford, and Michael Hollis. So Crawford, the only starter on the floor. As this one backs up. Back over to Davis at the top of the key. Well outside the top of the key at the volleyball line. Here comes a corner three. Tap the glass on your way in. Josh Davis knocks down the corner three. And Cumberland, they are on a roll. Just like the steam train outside of Cumberland, they are on a roll. Just under a minute to play in the first quarter. It's 22-7. It's now a high pass. Gets him to stop, but he's fouled on his way up. Try to get at least something to go there, as on his way up before getting fouled underneath the basket was Elijah Batts. He'll go to the line for 2. On the floor for Williamstown is Batts, Covington, Basilio, Ferguson, and Manzi. We've covered Basilio now in 3 different sports. We've covered him in baseball and now in basketball, but also for the national championship winning Williamstown ball hockey team. Now, not only that, Basilio is one of the most talented ball hockey players in the country, and he has been invited several times to the Czech Republic to play in the national tournament for Team USA. So even though ball hockey is not a sport that a lot of people pay attention to, mostly because it's just a club sport and it's not NJSIAA, he still has some wicked good talent, and I believe he also does some ice hockey in the winter as well. But making one of his 2 foul shots that time was Bats. Moving in, Davis gets it to go. Great shot there by Davis. He's got 5 off the bench, and it's 24-7. 30 seconds to play in the first quarter here from Cumberland. It's handed off from Manzi to Ferguson, the senior, up and no good. Tries to get something out of that. Now there's 16 seconds left. Here comes the Colts, floats it up. Oh, tough shot there. Rebound by Basilio. 10 seconds. Basilio driving with the left hand. Nice underhand feed. It's up. Travel. Oh, that would have been a very clean dump off from Basilio if the basket counted. However, they call a travel on Cumberland, rather on Williamstown, and with 6 seconds left, we'll get a turnover in a 16-point game.
And Dan, that would have been a nice basket for Williamstown to have. You know, one basket may not seem like it helps now, but it would.
Anything helps at this point. Ferguson chucks it up, air ball, and he'll let this one fly at the end of the first quarter, well short. But Cumberland didn't really need that shot as they lead this one by 16. A fiery 24-point first quarter, including 9 from the forward Caleb Green. We'll take a quick break. Cumberland leads Williamstown 24-9 at the first break. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Cumberland Regional High School. I'm Dan Wilkins, joined by Nolan Dowell on the call. I almost forgot your name because I was distracted by the fake fire alarm. You can see they have, it says on fire, and that would be accurate. It's 24-8, 16-point lead for Cumberland here at the end of the first quarter. And no better way to describe it than the performance of Caleb Green so far. 9 points, 3 triples. That pass gets by Torcasio, goes out of bounds. Now, Cumberland ball.
I will say it is an interesting choice to play that in between quarters. You know, after taking a break, you'd think you'd want them to be on fire during the game, but
yeah, well,
hey,
I guess
working.
The flame is still there.
Yeah.
First possession for Cumberland in this quarter. Spinning around is Major Martin Dunn. Back out to Green. 4, no good. Thought he would have had his 4-3 there, but he was just a little bit too strong. Still 3 for 5 from beyond the arc. As this now moves inside, just off of the Colts and out of bounds.
That was a good look inside from Cartwright. He had his man in Hollis. Hollis just couldn't handle the ball. It rolls out of bounds.
Yeah, Hollis had the last touch on there, so it's Williamstown ball. On the floor is Matthews, Torcasio, followed by Covington and Walker and Foreman. So all 5 starters. Foreman pulls up from inside the paint, no good. Green can't get the rebound, but it instead feeds out to Davis. Excuse me, to Mosley. Mosley gets the basket. This is just a great game for Cumberland here, and we're going to see, I guess they took it out of the inbound line too quickly. They're going to let him do it again, as now Matthews will take this one up the floor. 7 minutes to play in the first half. It is a 18-point lead. Matthews underhand feed, hits Walker, and after a couple of bobbles, goes out of bounds. Cumberland ball.
Ball must be slippery. That's 2 times in the past minute or so that we've seen the ball slip out of someone's hands.
Yeah, you don't really want to see Williamstown turn over the ball this much because look at this football pass intercepted though. Bringing it back up is Matthews with contact, fires it away. Now Green gets the turnover, able to save it. Now an open look. Martin Dunn sends him down. It's a foul, offensive foul on Major Martin Dunn. He'll get called for it. Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think that was an offensive foul against Major Martin Dunn there.
Number 10 with a charge is Cumberland's first.
Not really a whole lot of fouls in this game so far, but maybe that will change. I mean, we honestly, the last couple of minutes have been a little bit sloppy on both teams. Williamstown has been rushing to get shots off, and Cumberland hasn't been getting their best looks. But I'm just looking at this right here. That's at least the 3rd time where we've seen that. Close basket missed, and then a scramble under the basket where everybody's just kind of throwing the ball up in the air. It's not really efficient. And if Williamstown's going to win this game, they really need to get a little bit better at having some of that patience as they get to the basket and try to find good shots. But what I will say is that they are definitely, even with Crawford off the floor, they're at a disadvantage with the height right now, even with Caleb Green. I'd say, honestly, the only one-to-one matchup is Walker. Let's look at this. Oh, my goodness. It somehow counted for 3, but there was definitely a hold if you didn't see that in the paint.
Yeah.
That was pretty clear right there.
That was a pretty bad miss.
Green now moves inside, gets swatted at, can't go. They'll bring them back up 28-11. Covington at the last 3-point basket. I mean, both of these teams have pretty deep rosters. I mean, for what it's worth, these are big schools. Cumberland's a Group 3, Williamstown's a Group 4, and Cumberland definitely in a complicated Group 3 bracket could make themselves known this year if they can pick up some good wins. As some more changes on the floor. Basilio is in for, not for Torcasio, instead for Covington, as now pulling up. Can't get it to go. Offensive rebound, by Covington. Back over to Torcasio. Basilio in the corner. He'll move this one inside. Stops on a dime in the paint. Torcasio moves in. Fires the pass out. It was a high pass. He's got Torcasio in the corner. Doesn't take it. 5 minutes to play in the half. Now Williamstown resets the play. Torcasio goes back to the top of the key. Right around the Cumberland logo. Back to Mosley, who was guarding him. Back to Torcasio. Basilio's open at the top of the key, doesn't take it. Now Torcasio chucks up a 3, and it's good. Maybe call that a little bit of luck, but Connor Torcasio gets a nice 3-point basket, and we're going to get a foul underneath the basket. It looks like by Cumberland.
That was also on Torcasio.
Yeah. It's going to be on, okay, it's going to be on Williamstown then. That is their first team foul. I thought it would be against Major Martin Dunn when I saw 10 on the scoreboard, but it is Connor Torcasio. 1 team foul for each side is now moving up. Mosley, charge! Basilio draws the charge. Now, how much do you want to attribute that to a good defensive set right there? Because that was good defense by Basilio, but that's the second time that Cumberland's been called for a charge. It's either bad selection by Cumberland or it's good defense by Williamstown. It really can't be both, but.
And I thought there was a little late whistle there. It could have been called earlier, but, good job by Basilio to take it.
Nice pass, blocked by Crawford. Green comes up with it. 28-14, 14-point lead for Cumberland. Green moves in, ball gets away. Basilio makes sure not to touch it. As now it will be Davis to inbound, the quarterback. This time with a bounce pass. Over to Caleb Green. Mosley inside. Crawford did not handle it cleanly. Talk about a slippery ball. He's had a lot of those tonight. A lot of turnovers for both of these teams. It's Basilio, guarded by Crawford. Basilio back at the volleyball line. Moves out to Torcasio. Torcasio moves inside, but feeds it out. Williamstown retains possession. He's now pulling up, long two. Mid-range, it's good for Foreman. Foreman with his 4th point of the night. Listen, all 5 starters already have points for Williamstown. They've been doing pretty good, and they just need to get a little bit more on the board. As Crawford, hello, gets that one to slam off the backboard, and he gets a nice inside paint shot. Makes this one 30-16. Cumberland in front by 14 points. They've held a double-digit game for almost all of this game. As Basilio with a nice move, moves over to the center, back to Covington, establishes the pivot foot, now picks up the ball again. Travel.
And I'm really liking this defense from Cumberland. It's a lot of switch man, but their communication between the guys on the floor is so good. They're able to get those switches off real quick and real easy, and right there it forces a turnover.
Well, the first guy to call for a travel was the man behind the referee. That's athletic director Colin Lewis. But I'll tell you, I mean, Cumberland, they have had a really strong defensive showing today. And they were able to draw and travel that time, as that basket is no good. Crawford tried to fire it underneath the basket. Now here comes another chance. Basilio wide open, gets the basket to go. Ian Basilio makes it a 12-point game. It's now 30-18. Cumberland leads, still by double digits. Back over on the left wing. It was taken by Dawkins. Now inside for Crawford. Crawford guarded by Covington. Now a foul. It's going to be on Covington.
And that's his sweet spot, down there under the basket. Williamstown trying to stop it. Yet again, another foul when he's going up for a shot.
Well, he'll go up for 2 here. Crawford had a stretch in December where he had 4 straight games with double-doubles. Had an incredible 30-10 versus Clearview, 19-10 versus Triton, 24-10 versus Absegami, and 30-10 versus Deptford. So those are the only double-doubles that he's had this year. He's come close on New Year's Eve versus Brandywine of Delaware. He had 9 and 7. That was at the Boardwalk Convention Center, or the Wildwood Convention Center. And then he had 15 and 8 in a 2-point win over Highland, their most recent game back on Tuesday. Crawford goes 2 for 2. He's got 8. And now Torcasio has to fire this one into Basilio. All 4 Williamstown players went down the floor. And now Torcasio, after a screen was set by Foreman, brings it back out to Walker. Walker inside. Pass gets batted away. Dawkins gets in there. Torcasio floats it, and it's good. Connor Torcasio with a tough basket gets a one-handed floater to go from the floor, and it's now 30-20, or rather 32-20. Cumberland still up by 12. Crawford from the semicircle moves in left side of the paint, double guarded. Back over to Martin Dunn. Fires it across the floor. Cumberland still hanging on to a long possession here. Bounce pass to Crawford. Crawford loses it, and it's out of bounds. Cumberland retains possession. This broadcast is brought to you by the South Jersey chapter of the National Adult Baseball Association. South Jersey NABA provides over 20 teams across 4 competitive divisions, and registration is now open for the spring of 2026. Visit SouthJerseyNABA.com for more information. A strong pass out on the inbound by Michael Hollis. A nice 2-step that time. Really good basket there by DJ Mosley. He now has 6 points. And that shot, front iron, back to Basilio, left wing, 3, no good. Green can't get that one to go, and it'll go out of bounds. 1:25 to play in the second. We have had a schedule change for tomorrow. We were originally scheduled for Salem at Leap Academy. We have flipped that game now to Pittman at Clearview. That is now Pittman at Clearview, 5:30 p.m. tip-off. Basilio gets the inbound off. Over to Torcasio. Back to the left wing for Covington. Takes his time here. I mean, Williamstown, as much as I would argue that they should push the pace, I would say in the contrary that they should slow it down. Look for the best possible basket instead of rushing, because that's what's hurting them right now. As he gets it out from the seat of his pants, Basilio puts up a 3 in the far, or rather near corner, but he can't get that one to go either. He's 0 for 2 on 3-point attempts. Now under a minute to play. Mosley taking his time. Guarded by Foreman. Mosley out to Dawkins. The junior, 5'6", but hard over height on the floor as here goes Green. No good. Tried to get it down. Basilio keeps it in. His feet on the baseline, but as Basilio tried to bring that one in, the basketball got loose and it hit him in his shoes, and it'll go out of bounds. All right, they're gonna say Williamstown ball.
Yeah, it looked like that one was slapped out by Michael Hollis off his fingertips.
Well, I saw that. I was just surprised because it looked like it hit Basilio's shoes before it went out of bounds. Maybe I'm wrong, but they're going to have Basilio roll it here.
It's a smart decision.
Yeah,
that clock.
Clock preservation. Don't see a lot of teams do that, but it's an effective tactic, especially when you need those baskets.
Doesn't
Goes
really
out of bounds,
matter.
though.
Doesn't really matter when that happens, though. Slips off the fingers.
Yeah, seen a lot of messy turnovers tonight for Williamstown. It just hasn't been their best in terms of getting easy possessions to go.
Listen, I'd argue that both teams have had sloppy turnovers. It's just hurt Williamstown more because Cumberland's made a couple more shots.
As we mentioned, Williamstown is waiting on 3 transfers to be eligible as of Saturday. Clinton Suggs from Paul Sixth, Jameer Gordon from St. Joe's Hamilton, and Amir Washington from Philadelphia. That ball gets loose. It's back to Mosley. Back over, 5 seconds, Martin Dunn, bounce pass, Crawford, open lane, and that's gonna end the half. At the end, Basilio fires it into the next county. I guess it's a good thing he's a baseball player, but Cumberland with a fantastic first half. They lead by 16 points as a major performance by the 1-2 punch we talked about in the beginning, Pat Crawford and Caleb Green. It's Cumberland 36, Williamstown 20. We'll be back in 10 minutes for the second half of action here from Cumberland Regional in Seabrook. In life, the road ahead is full of possibilities, but to navigate it safely, you need the right skills. Harper Driving School is the premier driving school serving Gloucester, Salem, and Camden counties. With experienced instructors, many of whom are teachers in local schools, we are dedicated to your success and will help you master the road with confidence. With an over 95% success rate of students passing their road test on their first try, you know your student will be in good hands while embarking on a huge step of their young adult lives, all while avoiding the lines at the DMV and getting insurance discounts.
We chose Harper, and so should you.
Book Dog Pro Wrestling for your next event or outing for the greatest action that New Jersey Pro Wrestling has to offer. Any place, any time, any setting, Dog Pro Wrestling will bring the action to you, and you won't want to miss it for moments like this. But don't just take it from me. Take it from Max Mundo, the Dog Pro Wrestling ambassador.
This is Max Mundo with Dog Pro Wrestling. Are you a civic organization, sporting club looking to fundraise? Then look no further to Dog Pro Wrestling. We do grand openings, corporate events, and much more.
And why not from some of the wrestling talent themselves?
I'm Vinny the Fixer, and I'm the champion of Dog Professional Wrestling. If you want to book the best, come see us. We're the cream of the crop. We'll come to any fundraiser you can think of. Just name the place and we'll show up.
This is the upstanding Dylan Mesh, and for the entirety of my professional wrestling career, dog wrestling has been a mainstay for where I like to wrestle. So you can believe me when I say that it is quality. And I'm upstanding. I'm the only opinion you need.
Yeah!
It's your boy Gabriel Hodder here with my man Matthew Oman, and if you want your events to be all fight, no flight,
then book Dog Wrestling so you can witness true primal fear. Woo!
May is Mental Health Awareness Month. It is the responsibility of all of us to make sure that our friends, family, and anybody who we hold dear in our lives is feeling well. The problem with spotting mental health issues is that the symptoms aren't that obvious. Just because someone is okay or appears okay on the outside doesn't mean that they're okay on the inside. It's important that if they are in distress, that they call the right people and they get the help that they need. And it is very important that we treat each other with respect, regardless of who you are or where you come from. But it is just as important that we treat ourselves with respect, regardless of the situation going on in our lives. If you're in distress, you can call this number, 988, or you can visit any of these websites if you're not in distress, but would like to learn more information about mental health awareness and research.
Doubleheader reached first on an error in the first at-bat of Game 2. This one's lined into center field. Slider going over. He dives. Did he make the catch? Yes, he did. Ryan Slider makes the catch. Not on a slide, but instead on a dive. 2 away.
Jersey is the number 2 seed. As we said, they beat Manville 19-0 in the first round, which was even larger than Audubon's 16-0 win over Paulsboro as the 1 seed in the first round. That one's hit out towards center field straight away. Oh, she misjudged it. Got over her head in center field. Now this one's got a chance to be 3 bases for Spire. She's flying around third. Here comes the throw to the plate. It is not in time. What a way to kick off a semifinal with an inside the park home run. Emma Spire, who will take her talents to the Great Danes after 2026, lights up the scoreboard with a fly ball that got misjudged in center field.
1-0 Red Bank. Now here is Al D'Elia. The man they used to call Big Al has now slimmed down, and he still hits dingers. He went viral in 2018 for his catchphrase during the Little League World Series when he was introduced by the ESPN camera crews and was given his standard introduction. He said, "Hi, my name's Big Al, and I hit dingers." And that sentiment still holds true today. He had his first career high school home run versus Rumson Fairhaven in their opening game of the campaign last week. There's a swing and a miss, 0-2. But D'Elia, kind of a folk hero for baseball players who just want to hit the ball far and have fun while doing it. The poster child now is the poster big fella. Fly ball right center field. This is going to be a sac fly. Taken in by Terranova, and Big Al might not hit dingers, but he certainly drives in runs. It's 2-0.
36-20. It's a big lead for Cumberland at the end of the first half. I'm Dan Wilkins. I'm joined by Nolan Dowell of Rowan University. Damian Waiters on the production this evening. It's been a good one, but it's been a little bit lopsided. I mean, when we saw Cumberland last, they beat West Deptford, I believe, by 21 points. And in this one, looking like more of the same, except versus a much larger opponent. And a Group 3 beating a Group 4 is still going to be beneficial in the power points, but we can worry about that later. The points right now, all pointing in the right direction for Cumberland. Caleb Green with 9, Pat Crawford with 10. It's been a great performance for that 1-2 punch.
Yeah, and Dan, something we mentioned earlier in the broadcast was how Williamstown has cycled out so many seniors these past 2 seasons. Well, not past 2. Last season, going into this season, they're going to lose 10 this upcoming season. Cumberland, on the other hand, they only lost 1 senior from last year, and 3 of their players this year are seniors. So they've had a lot of time to grow together, and so far we've seen it in the first half.
Caleb Green inbounds this one to DJ Mosley. We were going to get things started, but there was a wet spot on the floor right in front of Lamont Robinson. Robinson in his second year with Cumberland. Remember, just a few years ago, they were 2-22. They had a very rough season a few years back. I think it was the 22-23 season. Here goes Green. Bang! Caleb Green knocks in another one. He's got 12 points, all on triples, as that basket doesn't go. But the offensive rebound by Walker. Contact, that's a foul. Walker gets hit on his way up, and he'll go to the line for 2. Walker with 2 points so far, but he's been a good contributor for this Williamstown team this season. The senior, 40 points, 22 rebounds. Has a season high of 12, also a career high. Had a double-double versus GCIT on December the 22nd. The Tri-County Royal really is such a confusing division because GCIT has had a great season, but they've lost to the team at the bottom, which is Williamstown. So let's take a look at their standings while we're at it, as he'll make both. It's 22-38. As you can see there on the left side, Kingsway leads 5-3, or 5-3. Then GCIT's right up there with them. Gloucester Catholic, the new addition to the division, they're up there. And then the bottom 3 are 3 of the big schools in Washington Township, Clearview, and Williamstown. But, I mean, Washington Township and Clearview, they might not have been expected to be all that great. But Williamstown, they had a lot of hype going into this season, so hopefully they can turn it around in the month of January. But Walker made both foul shots, and now Cumberland gets a wide open look, not for long, as Crawford gets fouled. I was going to say that looked like a very clear path to the basket, but that path closed very quickly, and now Pat Crawford will go to the line for 2.
And Pat Crawford's listed at 6'2". Well, he's a big man for being 6'2". Like, you look at him and you're like, that's a big guy.
Yeah.
Pat Crawford is one of those guys. I mean, he's got not just the height, but he also has, like, the bulk, too. He's able to get down low and use his body as a force down in the paint.
Crawford, as we mentioned, goes into this game with a career 531 points. So if he stays with Cumberland for all 4 years, I mean, who's to say that he doesn't get his 1,000th point as a junior with 531 already, 363 as a freshman. I mean, to average 15 points per game as a starter as a freshman really is impressive. He averages 16.1 in his career. This is just his 34th career varsity game played. Crawford makes 1 of 2. And we'll go back to the basics here with a 18-point lead for Cumberland over Williamstown. Moving inside now. Good stop by Covington. He's got Davis to his back, and it goes. Covington gets the basket to fall.
Use his size there to get over Josh Davis.
Yeah, really use that advantage there at his best, as now Davis moves that one over.
From Tyson Foreman.
Green now inside, up and in. That's his first basket that wasn't a 3. And it goes to make it back to an 18-point game.
And you'd think for him being 6'4" forward, he'd get most of his points down low. That's the opposite of what's happened tonight.
Kamar Goodall is on the floor for Williamstown. It's Goodall, Matthews, and then Foreman, and then your 2 forwards in Covington and Walker. Covington moves inside but stops at the 3-point line. Back to the left side for Goodall, the senior with 185 career points. He chucks up a 3 and it goes. Kamar Goodall, the 3rd bench scorer for Williamstown. and it's now 27-42. Moving inside, Mosley can't get the shot to go. Tough rebound, and he's unable to get it cleanly. Mosley is able to stay up on his feet. Thought Goodall would have had that one, but now Mosley, left hand and good. DJ Mosley, 8 points. And now with 5:30 left, no charge, basket's good. It goes up for Kason Matthews. He's got his second field goal, and now we've got a lot of back and forth basketball. It's finally getting disrupted with a foul there at the other end of the floor. Third team foul for Williamstown. Josh Davis will be at the line for 2. First shot, no good. As we mentioned, the football connection for Josh Davis. We talked about Cumberland's head coach, Lamont Robinson Sr. He was a one-year stop-and-go head coach for Absegami in the 2024 season. Went 6-5 with them. As that basket is no good. Davis misses both. It goes back to Matthews, who will bring this one up on the right side, guarded by Davis. It's a 14-point lead. Williamstown is ever so slightly closing the gap as that ball gets away. Goes up and over the hands of Walker. Now Green has it. Fires it inside. Fouled. Crawford gets hit on his way up, and Williamstown running themselves into hefty foul trouble here in just the first 3 minutes of the third quarter. This broadcast is brought to you by the Dangerous Adrenaline Wrestling Gladiators, Dog Pro Wrestling, New Jersey's premier pro wrestling organization with high-flying events and nonstop entertainment throughout the Garden State. Visit dawgprowrestling.com for more information. Crawford at the line. This is his third trip to the charity stripe. He has 11 points. Make that 12. Checking into the ball game for Williamstown will be number 11, Elijah Batts. He subs in for Demetri Walker. As we mentioned, we have 2 more games this weekend. Friday at 5:30, we'll be at Mullica Hill for Pittman at Clearview. And then we close it out with another non-conference matchup between Warren Hills and Kingsway. A North versus South battle. A rare one, but it should be fun. Saturday the 10th at 12 noon. Goodall over to the left side with a stop in between for Covington. It's back to Matthews. He finds Foreman. Foreman, as Nolan mentioned in the open, leads in almost every statistical category. 96 points, 29 boards, had 177 points as a starting freshman last year. That basket rolls in and out. Davis to Green, catch and shoot. No good. Ever so slightly too strong. But Martin Dunn picks up the offensive rebound. Haven't seen him on the floor in a little while. As it's back to Mosley. Takes his time. He has to release it in the next 3 seconds. They're just going to let it go. I thought that would have been a double dribble there, but here goes the Williamstown Braves, and it's good. Tyson Foreman gets the basket, and Adam DeAndrea will call a timeout. So an interesting sequence there as, yeah, I think a double dribble was missed, but Cumberland gets it back. Williamstown gets another basket on the other end of the floor. Tyson Foreman with 6 points. It's been an even scoring night for Williamstown as nobody has more than 6, but the Braves have distributed the ball to 8 scores. We'll take a quick break. It's 46-31, a 15-point lead for the Colts. Let's take a look at the standings in the Tri-County Liberty. There's Cumberland Regional. They are 4th of 6. Delsea leads the division at 5-3, but really not a clear-cut favorite. Delsey's been good this year. Deptford's been good this year. Timber Creek hanging in there at 4-4. They came off of a win over Woodbury on Monday. We were there for that. And then running up the rear is the two Black Horse Pike schools, Triton and Highland. But it's been an overall competitive division, and if Cumberland can pick up some key divisional wins, they might not win, but they're going to get awfully close to Delsey and Deptford this year. That pass gets tipped up, and now here come the Braves again. Really quick basketball in transition as Goodall gets the basket to fall. There's another one off the bench as he picks up 5 points now. Had a low arcing three earlier, and now a handful of changes. Actually, the only change for Williamstown is that Basilio's on the floor. Still Foreman, Goodall, and now here comes a three. Good! Left wing. From the 5'6" guard, Khalif Dawkins. And Williamstown can't get the shot to go. As now Davis, pump fakes, now over to the left side. Good fake there. Now back over to the right wing. Pulls up from the semicircle. Davis can't get the shot to go. Offensive board, pretty clear around the paint. A lot of real estate. Gets it out. They let it play, and it will be out of bounds. Cumberland ball under their own basket.
And we've seen on the last couple possessions now, when Williamstown scores a basket, they go into a full court press. They want to put the pressure on Cumberland, try to cut this 16-point lead down bit by bit.
Williamstown does get the turnover. Here comes a deep pass. Can he catch it? He does. A great save, and it goes to Braden Covington, but that pass is awry. You can only get away with so many lucky passes, and that time they seem to be having some fun with it. Gene Thomas, the public address announcer at Cumberland. That ball gets swiped away, but they do hang on to it. Nice pump fake. Back to Basilio. Really good moves here by Williamstown. They just have to finish the play with a basket. That's what matters here as Basilio goes up, fouled, and he'll get some foul shots here. As the junior, Ian Basilio, will go to the line. He has 32 points this year, had 31 as a sophomore. For a Williamstown team that went 8-18. He's got 32 points, 14 boards. Averaging a respectable 4.5 off the bench. Had a season high 9 points, 4 boards, and a 62-45 loss versus Deptford. I believe he started that game, if I recall correctly. Basilio gets his first shot to go. Green and Mosley check in. Crawford and Davis sub out. 2:53 left in the third. It's 49-34, 15-point lead. And it's good. Basilio gets both to go. He's got 4 points, and it's now a 14-point game. Green over to Dawkins. As you mentioned, full court press for Williamstown. The Braves looking to put pressure on. Gets it out. No travel, but we keep it going. Here comes a wide open basket. No good. Oh, man, a wide-open look, and it falls too strong.
That's surprising. From Tyson Foreman,
that's just a mistake there. Got to get those baskets to fall. Oh, Green got him to miss. Up, foul, no, and one. That student section was about to go berserk, but instead we'll get 2 foul shots for Caleb Green.
Yeah, that would have been about as big of a momentum swing as you could have had for Cumberland. The missed wide-open fast break layup for Tyson Foreman turned into what would have been a highlight reel play for Caleb Green. But he'll head to the line to try to make up those 2 points.
Instead, he'll try to settle. He leads both teams scoring with 14, misses his first. Green, probably the tallest player on the floor right now with Williamstown's 2 forwards, including Covington. He misses both. Now this one goes quickly down the floor to Basilio as they're going to try to go for basically a running gun here in the third. Up, no good. Green rebound. Basilio guarding. It's back to the Colts. Moving over the middle for Dawkins. Catch and shoot. No good on the 3. It goes back to the Braves. We're going to try to keep this one rolling in transition. It goes back to Goodall. They're going to try to squeeze every ounce of energy out from the Colts as this one is up, foul, and one. Elijah Batts off the bench, picks up a huge basket, and he draws the foul. And for a Williamstown team that's been in foul trouble, and keep in mind Cumberland does have the bonus. So Bats on Cumberland's third team foul will go to the line for 2.
For 1. It's an and 1.
Oh, just 1. Would have been nice, but he gets it. 5 points for Elijah Bats off the bench. As now Williamstown continuing with the full court press with under 2 minutes to play in the third. I feel like this third quarter has been longer than both the first and second quarters. It's been a dragger. Crawford, oh. That one was a tough call. Ball races out past the baseline. Just, again, a lot of really tough possessions that are not ending in a way that either team wants. I mean, it's been really tough to judge here because Williamstown's gotten some good shots off, but it hasn't been consistent enough for them to really cut this lead. But we are down to 11 points. As Basilio over to Goodall. Goodall sets the play on the point, moving to the right wing. From the free throw line, pulls up, airballed it. Basilio gets it back and in.
Fantastic job by Basilio there to go in and get the offensive rebound.
Oh, and they almost speared that one away from Kamar Goodall. Minute 10 to play in the third. Back over to Dawkins. 3, left wing, airballed it. Cumberland's got to calm down on the threes. I mean, it was fine when they were up by 15 or 20, but now that Williamstown's actually making a strong comeback, they should really focus at using Crawford, use Davis, or Green rather, although he's not on the floor. They take another one, but it's good. Fool me twice. I guess so. Cumberland knocks down the 3. But I still don't think that it's a feasible strategy long-term with Williamstown coming back in this game.
When they're wide open like that one, you can't pass up on the opportunity to take that shot.
Mosley with his second triple. He's got 11 points. He gets fouled. That's going to be 3 foul shots.
A little bit of a flop there from Foreman. I mean,
the contact was still there.
Might have been some contact, but, you saw that.
Yeah,
push
saw
out with
the
arm
motion, but it still is a foul. And
yeah, yep.
Tyson Foreman will go to the line. He is tied for Williamstown's lead in scoring. He has 6. He's going to go for 3 here. If he makes all of them, he'll cut Cumberland's lead down to 9. Gets his first.
That's all you got, Cumberland. Make some noise. Put them feet to the floor.
Let's listen into the crowd here. Second shot is good. And now for the third. Makes all 3. So even with the noise, Foreman silences the road crowd and silences the home crowd and gets all 3 to go. That pass gets turned over.
That was a sloppy pass right there.
I mean, all of this quarter has not been the best for Cumberland, and they are opening the door for Williamstown to come back in this game. 12 seconds. Out on the corner of the volleyball line. Goodall has it. 8 seconds. They want him to take a shot. Goodall goes in, fires it, it's intercepted. Now it goes back to the Colts. They don't have any time. They're going to let this one fly. Oh, they were super close on that one. I thought it was going to hit the roof, but instead it hit the back of the basket as the attempt doesn't go. But at the end of the third quarter, Williamstown has re-entered themselves into the conversation. They trailed by 16 at half. You can make that a 9-point deficit at the end of the third. It's Cumberland 52, Williamstown 43. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Cumberland Regional High School here in Seabrook, New Jersey. I'm Dan Wilkins, joined by Nolan Dowell of Rowan University on the call, as this game has been not necessarily turned on its head, but it certainly is starting to feel that way, as Williamstown was down 16 at the half. They now trail by 9 at the end of the third quarter. Should be an interesting finish here in Seabrook.
Yeah, and it feels like that full court press that they've been using, they started that in the second half. It feels like it's kind of been working. I mean, they forced a lot of turnovers off of Cumberland, but there have also just been a lot of bad decisions from Cumberland that have been resulted in turnovers, bad passes, things like that.
Yeah, this isn't going to be easy for either team. I mean, Williamstown obviously has to fight, kind of has to punch up here, but at the same time, this is a game that's very meaningful for Cumberland. In a season where they have already had an over 500 record at 5-4, a win over a Group 4 team will do a lot of good for them in terms of the power points. And that's really what's going to be something to watch here as we go into the final quarter and into the first couple of weeks of January. Right now in Group 3, Cumberland is 14th. They could really improve on that. The top 4 right now is Ocean City, Deptford, Delsea, and Timber Creek. They're surrounded by Mainland ahead of them, and then the last 2 teams in the playoffs are Clearview and Triton. There's a handful of teams that are out. And then in South Jersey Group 4, as it is right now, if we can load this up, it's going to be, right now the top 4 are Lenape, Cherry Hill East, Eastern, and Howell. And Lenape, East, and Eastern are having phenomenal seasons, but Williamstown right now is out of the playoffs. So they need wins like this to move into the playoff picture. They are 18th. The last 4 teams in are Washington Township at 13, GCIT at 14, Millville at 15, Pennsauken at 16. And from there on out, Toms River North is ahead of Williamstown, and Williamstown is 18th out of 22 teams in Group 4. Both foul shots were missed by Foreman. And now Cumberland looks to bring this one up the floor. 7:20 to play in the fourth quarter as Williamstown's press continues to be effective. And it's a backcourt violation. Wasn't tipped that time. That was all clean, so the pass got away. It got behind number 4 that time. And Cumberland will have to reset. Williamstown ball. Now spinning around. Over to Goodall. Moving up. Pulls up. Too strong on that one, and Crawford gets the rebound down. 9-point game for Cumberland. They led as much as 18 at
Huge
one point in this game.
from Crawford there.
And a foul. Hit on his way up.
Number 11 for the Braves. That's his second, team's first.
I mean, Crawford just blew up Elijah Batts on that last possession. Coming over the middle, set that screen, and Crawford's huge frame just put Batts on the ground.
He was really able to box him out big time that time and able to get him out of the conversation. As at the line for 2 and making his first is Mosley. Mosley has 12 points. Cumberland has 3 players over 10. Green with 14, Crawford with 13, and Mosley with 12. Makes his second. Oh, that pass gets swatted away. So it'll go back to Foreman for Williamstown. He sends this one back beyond half court. Goodhall will bring this one up. Guarded by Mosley. Now it's out on the left wing. Covington to Basilio. Basilio puts the ball over his head, and a foul just in front of Adam DeAndrea and the Williamstown sideline. Williamstown bench there. Still no points. Actually, 2 points, rather, for Cumberland, but that's been the only basket so far in the first minute and a half of play in the fourth. Basilio's got to get something to go here. He had to bring it off to somebody, and a risky pass over the middle was really his best option. That ball goes out. Now Davis sent him to the ground. A scramble right in front of the scorer's table and a foul. Just a lot of scrambling there.
Yeah, Foreman lost possession. Basilio dove for it, trying to get it out of the hands of Major Martin Dunn. Could not do it.
And now a foul again
Another one on Basilio, back to back.
Yeah, that's rough. But if anything, he's only got 2. So he's not really in foul trouble. It's just the timing of the fouls that's inconvenient. For Cumberland, they had a stretch in late December where they lost 4 out of 5 games. We saw them on opening night as there's a block, huge block by Batts. This one goes up the floor and a foul there. A lot of lenient calls in the first half have now gone in the opposite direction, as now Basilio will inbound this one with 6:07 to play in the fourth.
And I think without that whistle there, Foreman would have lost possession. The ball went out of bounds.
Back over, left wing, 3, too strong. I think he let that one off a little bit too quickly there. Didn't really set his feet, tried to rush off a 3. Now it goes back to Cumberland. Crawford inside, nice bounce pass, back out. Didn't take the 3 on the left wing, and a whistle for a blocking foul on Covington. Interesting there.
Some nice ball movement from Cumberland there.
I mean, we're seeing a foul on almost every possession. That's now the 4th foul for Williamstown. We now have 7 combined team fouls in the first 2 minutes and 10 seconds of the fourth quarter. Somebody's going to be hitting the bonus soon. And it's going to be one of these 2. Second foul for Covington. Davis pulled up, now it goes back out. And it continues to roll over to Cartwright. Now back to Mosley in the corner. Moving inside. Davis, oh, tough one there. Crawford moves inside. Can't get that one up, and a foul. I'm telling you, I feel like they're missing a couple walks here and there.
Yeah.
There's a couple, it's not been every time, but there's been a handful of plays where there have, on both teams, there have been travels that have been uncalled.
Travels and I would argue reach-in fouls too. I mean,
yeah.
I know we're seeing a lot of fouls, but we're seeing a lot of, blocking fouls, shooting fouls, things like that. I'd argue that there have been a couple of reach-ins missed throughout this fourth quarter.
Pat Crawford makes the shot. He's got 14 points. Cumberland on a 3-game win streak. A win today will put them up to 4. They host Millville on Saturday the 10th. Then another home game versus Timber Creek. Hold on here. They're going to send Williamstown substitution out. And then Timber Creek, as we mentioned, on the 12th, on the road at Delsea on the 14th. And then home to Mainland of the Cape Atlantic League on Saturday the 17th. Although Cumberland probably is the closest you can get to Cape Atlantic because they're
15 for 16 at the line in the past 2 games.
There's Buna down there, there's Hamilton. This school is further south than all of them, not to mention Bridgeton. Bridgeton High School just 8 minutes away from Cumberland Regional. They're in the Cape Atlantic. So this might be, outside of Wildwood, the furthest south school in the Tri-County. I don't know if you heard that over what Gene Thomas was saying, but they said that Pat Crawford is now 15 for 16 from the line in his last 2 games. So he has been very good for Cumberland at the charity stripe. That 3 doesn't go. Back out. Now to Basilio at the top of the key. Has to fire that one out. It's back to Foreman.
Good job by Foreman resetting the offense with no shot clock.
Foreman, 3! Banked it off the back of the glass with a hand in his face from Caleb Green. It's now back to a 10-point game, 56-46. And somebody called a timeout. Not sure if it was DeAndrea or Robinson, but it doesn't matter. We go to a break. It's a full timeout here in Seabrook. The Colts lead the Braves 56-46. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Seabrook at Cumberland Regional High School. It is a 10-point game as it's 56-46. Cumberland has been on a roll really in the whole first half, but in the second half, it's been kind of dead even. I mean, Williamstown had a successful third quarter, cut the lead from 16 to 9, and now it's been pretty 50-50 as here comes an open look. Oh, Williamstown wasn't guarding the right basket, and that's wide open for Major Martin Dunn. A big mental mistake there.
And that is a huge mistake. Not guarding the right basket is one that you cannot happen.
It's one of the cardinal sins, and it just cost them 2 points right there. As it goes back over to Basilio in the far corner. Bounce pass inside. Up and in. Covington gets it to go. He's got 7, and it's now 58-48. Back over to Mosley. Lost it briefly. We talk about a one-on-one, about a number 1 versus a number 1 on the back of their jerseys. A foul. Foul is on the floor.
Bonus. That's number 15. Walker with his 4th, and that's none other than Pat Crawford going back to the line tonight.
Pat Crawford going back to the free throw line. The public address announcer mentioned he's 15 for 16 in the last 2 games from the charity stripe. Going to try to make it 17 for 18.
He's 9 of 10 today.
So that's where the one miss comes from. But he has been so good from the charity stripe. I mean, it's unbelievable. Oh, okay. All right.
Jinxed him. Come on, Dan.
Oh, man. I envisioned that in my head, and I knew that was going to happen. But
now, if he misses a second one here, Dan,
then I really got to run to my car after this game is over. Crawford for his second. Referee's counting down the time. He makes it. Okay. I'm not completely dead yet.
10 of 12.
Still a very impressive number for somebody that shot 12 foul shots. We're going to get a timeout. Adam DeAndrea will stay right here as it's a 30, and it's 59-48. 3:51 to play in the fourth. And Nolan, I'll tell you, for Williamstown, their road doesn't really get any easier, and for Cumberland, it doesn't either. I mean, Williamstown plays Wildwood on the 10th, so they're playing a small school, but then they're right back into the fire with Kingsway on the 12th. That is at Williamstown, and then they've got at least a little bit of a reprieve for a 3-game home stretch. Wildwood on the 10th, Kingsway on the 12th, Washington Township on the 14th, and then on the road for some run and gun versus Clayton and Frank Rago on the 16th.
Yeah, and Dan, you talked about the 3 transfers that are coming in. That'll be a huge help for this Williamstown team. I mean, they've played some good basketball today. They've had a couple mistakes, but adding those 3 guys just gives you so much more. You have so many more options you can do with this team.
Yeah, so this is the last game that Williamstown will not have those transfers eligible. As we mentioned, those 3 are, Clinton Suggs from Paul Six. Paul Six, the top 20 team in the state. Jameer Gordon from St. Joe's Hamilton, and then Amir Washington from Philly. As there's a 3. That one goes from the top of the key. And it's now 59-51, a foul.
Yeah, Foreman was trying to reach around. Just happened to get too much of
and
Caleb
after
Green.
Just hitting a 3.
And that's his 4th foul. Oh, no, his 2nd foul, sorry.
2nd foul for Foreman.
Scoreboard had it up as 4, but they changed that.
Well, that was because Walker was sitting on his 4th foul. That was from earlier, as now Caleb Green will go to the line.
And Walker's still in the game. I mean, Williamstown, you really just got to hope that the starters who have the foul trouble, like Walker, try to stay out of it in these final 3.5 minutes.
But this game's not over. I mean, it's an 8-point game. It's the closest Williamstown has made it since the first quarter when Cumberland outscored them 24-8 in the first.
And a big part of that was Caleb Green. He had 3 3-pointers in the first quarter, which was 9 of those 24 points. And right now, they have a 9-point lead. You can thank him for that.
Oh, little happy feet on that 3 there from the left wing. It's an air ball. I don't know if you saw, his feet were kind of spread out there on the 3. Didn't really get what he wanted. As now, this is a bounce pass from Mosley to Green. He tries to save it. They're still back behind the half-court line. Williamstown's full-court press doing wonders, but can it stop Cumberland from getting to the basket? It's good. No whistle, no charge. Major Martin Dunn with a major basket with 3 minutes to play. 11-point lead, 62-51.
Major Martin Dunn now the fourth Cumberland Colt to get into double-digit scoring here tonight.
Now moving inside. Covington, oh! You can't go for a slam there. The basket is good, and a timeout by Adam DeAndrea, but
Coach is not going to be happy about that one.
You can see that reaction from Adam DeAndrea. Williamstown is down by 9 points, and Covington just went for the slam dunk. Ugh. Rough stuff there. We'll take a break. 62-53. Cumberland in front, but they were able to at least get some consolation in a 2-point basket. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Cumberland Regional. Some of the JV guys are jiving with the public address. But it's 62-53, and Williamstown just got one of the luckiest breaks you're ever going to see, because Braden Covington went in for a slam dunk down by nearly double digits, and Williamstown is able to rebound, get the offensive board, get the 2-point basket from Mark Goodall.
Yeah, they were down double digits. It was an 11-point Cumberland lead when he tried that dunk. Yeah, we talked about it after the break. Very lucky that his teammate got that offensive rebound.
Oh, that ball gets kicked away. Now it feeds right back to Mosley, and it goes up and in for Martin Dunn. And now Lamont Robinson calls a timeout. Wow. That was a weird possession there. That ball almost got speared by Basilio. Will stay right here. That was a close call from start to finish, but it ended up being a lucky break for Cumberland, as that pass could have gone right back to the Braves, but instead Cumberland just gets it to fall right into their lap, and they're able to keep the possession.
I'm very surprised there was no whistle for a kick ball violation, because that
the
thing
first
got
thing
launched.
in my head was I was thinking it was a kicked ball.
But, you know, they got – and then once again, another clutch offensive rebound from Cumberland. Major Martin Dunn that time getting it with the putback layup to now put the lead back in the double digits, 64-53.
Don't forget, our next broadcast will be from Mullica Hill tomorrow night. Pittman Panthers at Clearview Pioneers. 5:30 p.m. tip-off. So our 3 games today, tomorrow, and Saturday, all involving the Tri-County Conference. Basilio is going to bring this one in. Oh. They just had to get that one more line out of Neil Diamond, but back over the middle for Kamar Goodall. 2:28 to play in the fourth quarter. Up, too strong. Green picks up the rebound. Back to Green.
And that one hurts.
Certainly does. Back over to the top of the key. Cumberland's offense has just been flowing here as that basket's good. Mosley, 15 points. I mean, now you have 3 starters for Cumberland with 15 plus. Crawford with 16, Mosley and Green with 15 apiece. Oh, that one gets away. He just rolled on top of him. Now we've got a jump ball.
And that's another
Foreman and Davis on top of that one.
That's another one where you'd think there would be a whistle for a kick ball off the foot of a Cumberland defender, but it turns out to be a jump ball after rolling around on the ground, and now Cumberland gets possession. So a big change of the tide here.
In all fairness, I don't think any of the refs had a great angle of that play. I mean, hindsight is 20/20, and we can only say so much here. As there's another jump ball. Short-lived.
Right back to Williamstown.
Yeah, that possession arrow is going to be flipping back and forth pretty quickly here in the last 2 minutes, as Williamstown is going to try to put on some fast pressure. as it's 66-53. Up, no good. Davis slapped it out, but it goes back to Walker. The net's moving 5 different ways. Now it goes back out. Goodhall airballed it. Saved off the hand of Green. Now trapped in the corner. Davis, double guarded. Ball comes out. Now it goes back to Williamstown. Trying to move some happy feet here. Goodhall, right side. Fires it inside. Nice little heave. A crafty shot from Kason Matthews, and it goes. Getting some elevation. But now here come the Colts. Crawford, Euro doesn't go from inside. Now it's 66-55, sliding with it, travel. No, technical foul.
Timeout.
Oh. Did you see that ref put up a signal?
The coach called a timeout just in time because he knew his player was probably going to get a travel there if he hadn't called it.
I'll be honest, the ref put a T.
He did.
I thought
he did it sideways.
Okay. That's something I wasn't aware of.
But a crazy series of events. You know, Williamstown missed 2 open layups, airball a 3, then luckily get a ball back on a steal, which turns into a flying layup off of a pass.
Just great stuff there.
Crazy stuff happening.
Well, we're going to catch our breath. It's 66-55. Cumberland ahead by 11. We'll be right back. Tonight. 66-55, final minute and 8 seconds. Caleb Green inbounds from just in front of the scorer's table.
And with no shot clock, Williamstown's going to have to get up there.
They're going to have to get several quick steals. They're already over the bonus, so that Band-Aid's been ripped off. Goes up, out of bounds, Williamstown ball.
And if you're Cumberland, I don't know what the idea is of trying to get the ball down low and score. I mean, you can just hold the ball out beyond the arc and pass it around.
They'll roll here.
Keep running that clock.
55 seconds. Moving quickly. Goodall feeds it out to Covington. Gets hit. Oh, it went out on the near sideline. That's the right call. It went out of bounds, and Covington lost the ball. Caleb Green to inbound. Over to Mosley, and they'll foul. And, well, we now go into the sequence of the last minute of a basketball game takes 20 minutes, but
Number 1, Goodall, his second.
Goodall picks up the foul. At the line will be Mosley. As we mentioned, Pittman, Clearview tomorrow, and then Warren Hills and Kingsway on Saturday. Should be an interesting matchup. Warren Hills of the Skyland Conference. We'll be seeing them for the first time on DWB as they face off against Brian Kuzmic and the 5-3 Kingsway Dragons. Then on Monday, we're back on the rink. We've got non-conference, Gordon Conference hockey between the, the Princeton High Tigers, not to be confused with Princeton University, and then Gloucester Catholic. On Tuesday, more boys basketball in the Colonial Conference. Paulsboro and Gloucester will be off on Wednesday. Thursday the 15th, back on the rink for Seton Hall Prep. As the crowd loving that free throw from Mosley.
Got to get some shots up now if you're Williamstown.
No good there. Green rips down the rebound.
Well, sorry, when I said some shots, I didn't mean bad shots. That one, not the right decision.
Tough break. Cumberland gets a shot off. And the rare shooting foul in the winding moments of the game.
Number 3, Matthews with his first foul.
And now at the line will be Major Martin Dunn. He has 10 points. Josh Davis is the only Cumberland starter not to have double-digit points. Mosley actually took the scoring lead with 17. That one misses. Oh, I know why the student section was loving the free throw, because it's 67 points. Thought that would have gotten old by now, but it hasn't.
This is high school basketball.
That is, yeah. Got to get back to the college scene so I can ignore that, as Davis misses both. 12-point lead for the Colts. With a win, they'll go to 6-4. The three doesn't go. Moving inside, foul and one. So a nice little move by Kason Matthews, and he's going to try to get a three-point play. Subbing in will be Mosley, and out will be number 24 in Kamal Branch. And one from Matthews goes. He's got 9, and it's now a 9-point game. They're going to try to foul him, but he evades it, and now they do. And that should be the 4th for Covington, if I'm correct.
Covington hits 4th.
It is, okay.
DJ Mosley going back to the line.
Mosley goes back for 2 more. So, yeah, picking up where we left off, more ice hockey on Thursday the 15th, Seton Hall Prep versus Gloucester Catholic. And then on Friday, we see more Gloucester Catholic, but on the road and in boys basketball. We travel down to Salem County for a matchup between the Gloucester Catholic Rams and the Penns Grove Red Devils from the famous gray and red floor, the Rudy Barrick Gymnasium. 5:30 p.m. tip-off. And then on Saturday the 17th, Shalleck and Haddon Township in non-conference Group 1 basketball. Mosley makes his second. They rolled the clock for a couple seconds there. Now on the right wing. Oh, off the top of the backboard. Stays in. Williamstown, they're going to burn him here. They're going to try to get one more basket. They foul him. No, they didn't foul him. They're going to count the basket. 4 seconds. Williamstown brings this down the floor. They'll check it up from the volleyball line, and it's good. That's one way to end the game. We saw that last night, too. But Williamstown falls to Cumberland with a final score of 70-61. A hard-fought game no matter what. And Lamont Robinson Sr. actually was talking to Major Martin Dunn. I wonder if he was upset with him going for the basket there at the end. I'm personally not afraid of it, but Williamstown falls in a 9-point loss. The final score again tonight, Cumberland 70, Williamstown 61. An overall fantastic performance from the Colts. It wavered a little bit in the 3rd and 4th quarters, but at the end of the day, they still won by 9.
Yeah, and I mean, we saw in the second half the basketball is definitely a lot better than the first half. There were a lot of sloppy mistakes in the first half, but Cumberland able to hold on to their lead and get it done thanks to Pat Crawford. Caleb Green really helped out early with those deep balls. And, yeah, they moved to 6-4 in the year. They matched their win total from last year. So that's something to look forward to for the Cumberland Colts.
Yeah, I mean, Cumberland, they, as you just mentioned, they have matched their win total from last year. It has been a great renaissance season for them, and it gives me confidence for them going into their next couple of games. Millville on Saturday. Millville hasn't been, I mean, they've been fine in the Cape Atlantic American, but they just haven't had the season that people were expecting them to have. They're 4-3. Timber Creek is 4-4. Delsey 5-3. If you can go into Saturday versus Mainland and beat 2 out of the 3, Millville, Timber Creek, and Delsey, Cumberland's going to be fully on the road to a great first half of the season. I mean, this was a great win. It helps them dearly over a Williamstown team in Group 4. You get those power points, you get the group points, you get a lot to go right. And Cumberland, they shined out. Their forwards, they probably can be a combination of the player of the games. Pat Crawford with 16, Caleb Green with 15. But you know what? I'll give the player of the game to Caleb Green because he was the one who showed the most consistency in the second half when Cumberland started to wiggle out of their lead a little bit. And also, those 3 triples he had in the first quarter sparked that Cumberland run that made them basically untouchable in the first half. They weren't necessarily untouchable, but they led by 16. It was a great first half. And they were up 24-8 at the end of the first quarter. So how much better can you describe Cumberland's performance than how to get it started? We say that it's not how you start, it's how you finish, but certainly Cumberland's win was influenced by how they started and by Caleb Green.
Yeah, I mean, and I think my player of the game is going to be Pat Crawford. His consistency, and you talked about consistency down the stretch, his consistency from the free throw line was such a huge factor. I mean, if he misses a couple more of his free throws that he took, 10 of 12 from the line is huge. Because, you know, you give away some of those points, you know, maybe they get offensive rebounds on them. I doubt it. But it was such a huge part of the game for Pat Crawford to go shoot so well from the line. 10 of 12. I mean, just a great job from him, keeping his composure late in the game when they needed those free throws. So Cumberland gets it done. Pat Crawford, good job.
Yeah, Pat Crawford definitely would be a great candidate for that. I think you could give it to Crawford or Green and nobody would bat an eye, but a great game from start to finish. Cumberland got ahead early. They end up with a 16-point second quarter or halftime lead, a 9-point lead at the end of the third, and a 9-point lead at the end of the day. That'll be all for us tonight on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting as the gym files out here in Seabrook. From our entire crew, our social media coordinator, Haley Mejia, our graphics crew, Caleb Lane, Carson Rosso, and Fisher Giannotti, my producer, Damian Waiters, my color commentator, Nolan Dowell of Rowan University. I'm Dan Wilkins. We will see you tomorrow from Mullica Hill in the home of the Pioneers as Pittman faces Clearview in small versus big Tri-County basketball. Final score, Cumberland 70, Williamstown 61. Have a good one, folks.